This is the Rumor Report.
Rappers are like, yo,
Angela
Mike.
Yee on the Breakfast
Okay,
Club.
speaking of artists that were nominated or should have been nominated, or maybe will be nominated soon in the future, don't worry about it. Nicki Minaj versus BET.
Okay.
BET was rather hurtful during the awards. What did they say when Cardi won? They said something about Nicki is still being dragged by her lace front, to which Nicki didn't respond well to. Jinx, you're having a blast over that.
Am I?
Nicki didn't respond well to that. She pulled out of a performance that Young Money was supposed to do in the summertime. I don't know if
The
it's
BET
Young Money.
experience is usually what they have around the same time of the
The
awards.
BET experience.
Yeah.
As she should.
She should.
She
What?
should have pulled out.
Pulled out?
Yeah. I think the extra, the posting of the actual girl, Maya Abraham, her name, leaking her number, people found her address, doing all those things. I think that's kind of tacky.
Wait.
And
So Nicki leaked.
Nicki leaked her number.
How'd you get her number?
Nicki still got the yellow pages.
Yeah, but even posting her face, posting her name, her full name, I don't know. I don't think I'm okay with that because I don't want anything to happen to this young girl who probably didn't know better.
I could see how that could be dangerous for the writer, but contrary to popular belief or what people would think I would believe, I do think BT was dead ass wrong.
Yes.
Not because that I feel she wasn't getting dragged by her lace front on the internet, because people was really ODing, like once Cardi won. I don't even know why people always correlate. But it's not even that. If any female in rap does anything, it has to be compared to what she's doing or is not doing. The instance, especially being BET, supposed to be Black entertainment,
Right.
so, like, why would y'all do that? Why would y'all be pitting two against each other? Like, how can you congratulate one? Because that's what it was. It was a congratulations to Cardi for winning. And then in your next breath, you downgraded someone else. Not only someone else, someone that you have slated to perform at one of your shows. Like, that was just a stupid business move.
That's the mistake. And normally it's someone working the social media handle that doesn't really know too much about the entertainment industry.
Or they don't be outside with it. You know what I mean?
Or a novice, or an intern, or
somebody that's
someone
savvy with social media.
Yeah, someone who maybe doesn't have relationships, someone who...
Or they're handling
Or it's their first gig in,
their immediate goal. Make something that's gonna get numbers. And it's like, what cost?
It's gonna make people retweet it and make people click on it and things like that.
I do not think BET was in on that tweet.
But it doesn't absolve them from it either, because that's the game.
Yeah.
And to me, it was like, we're coming off the heels. It's at the Grammys. We're watching everybody say the Grammys are fucked up, they're not getting it right. That's valuable real estate to grab, right? This is your chance, BET, to go in there and be like, we're gonna get it right. Instead, you blow the rent money off a tweet. I saw that and was like, wow, you guys fucked that up. You guys had a little chance. And if you're gonna get Nicki Minaj here with the steam, and if she does feel away and does feel like people aren't shitting on her, she's gonna come to the BET Awards and set it off. She's gonna try to make it the biggest thing possible. This is gonna be the Nicki Awards. And so you blow it. Like, that's your money right there. And there's a stigma now between you. And Nicki does have an army. She does have a powerful fan base that are gonna just make a deal out of not going. And it's just as much. That's bad press for you, BET, who does need that. That's a look for y'all.
So nobody here pays, did anybody read the apology that BET put out?
Yeah.
Apology? Yeah, I don't understand.
No one cares. Especially not to
Social
Nicki.
media apologies are so annoying to me.
Right.
First of all, it wasn't a mistake. Had they not had her slated to perform, then maybe they probably wouldn't even issue the apology. I don't think that's gonna get her.
This wasn't, if it blew over and it was like no one really cared about the tweet or whatever, they would have never deleted the tweet. It would have never happened. But Nicki has been, and I will say, like, I researched, I looked up how many times she's been at the BET Awards. She's showed support for BET numerous times, like continuously. She's one of the
How many times was it?
She's been there for, like, I would say 6 years.
So if you say she supported the BET for 6 years, shit, in my brain, she must have won that award for 6 years.
He's been supporting her for 6 years.
It's been her award for 6 years. Well, whose hive is stronger out of the two?
Right now?
Because it seems like both of them are leveraging their audiences. whether it be against each other, whether it be to other award ceremonies, whether it be for the next business opportunity. That is what it seems.
Now you're talking about, I look at audiences and hives as two different things. I think Nicki's hive is legit. And I think that they've been mobilized in a way that Cardi's hasn't been. Like, Nicki will send them on missions. You know what I mean? Like, literally, I'll put this girl's face up. I ain't gonna tell you to go get her, but go get her.
Gonna get her.
Is that organic? Because the Cardi hive, while there may not be an actual hive, when Cardi speaks,
Their audience is bigger.
her wider audience just moves in that direction.
I can't even say it's bigger because let me not get into numbers. I'll say that audience has more potential right now because she's newer, she's younger, she's charming. She's been around before the music.
Let's say it's bigger. Today we could say right this second it's bigger.
Think
she's more popular. That fluctuates.
What you have to understand is people's audience, their fan base is usually a reflection of them. They feed off of the energy that you give them. And I think when you sick your fans onto other people, like, I think that's wrong.
That's 100% correct. And I think also some of what Nicki's experiencing now is that maybe she was, for some people's mindset, the only like megastar female rapper at the time people could really choose. That's what some people may have thought. Now there's another running. She's been annoyed by that since Cardi popped up, since she said, I'm gonna do music. And I think that some of what Nicki's experiencing, not that there's, actual karma or balance in the system, but some of that is maybe paying up for that attitude. Because sometimes it's not even what you actually did. People are like, do we actually like you? Or is this the only person we have to choose today? And when you get another option, you'd be like, shit, fuck them. We just like her more.
My response to y'all is, there's 1 million female rappers today. I think maybe only 3 of them go in this category that y'all are talking about. I can name a bunch that don't necessarily have to pander this way or don't have to cater to their audience this way or don't have to stay as relevant or don't have to be sexy or don't have to,
Those are the exceptions,
That's because you're
not
not
the rule.
a female and you're not a rapper, so that's why you probably think like that. So, yeah, as a veteran, as someone who's made major achievements and achieved so many different accolades in her career, she shouldn't have to deal with you. She should be past the mark where all of those things don't matter. But as a female, as a black woman, and you powerful, don't start losing any of that power.
Let me ask.
Don't, because they gonna come for you.
I want to ask the 3 of y'all something before we move on here. Pardon my naivete. What's wrong with being the second biggest female rapper?
There's nothing wrong with being
especially if the first one is really, really, really big.
It's nothing wrong with being the second. There's nothing wrong with being third, fourth, fifth. The problem is that no one cares when it's men. It's only like that when it's women.
No one cares when
No one cares. Like, no one's sitting here still arguing over who's the best male rapper. No, you don't see Kendrick and J. Cole out here trying to tear each other's throats out, arguing with each other. You don't see people every time J. Cole sit down asking him about Kendrick in his interviews or any of these things that goes on with women.
That's not specific to women.
Here's why I disagree with some of that. I think you have to pay in what you deal in. I think when you make statements about when you're number one, you're number one. Cool. You said, why is it bad to be number 2? You don't miss money that you never got. But if someone takes money out your account, you feel that. When you were number 1, that's money in your account. If you've always been number 2, you're happy to be in the room. When you get to be number 1, who wants to give up number 1? Number 1's a bigger chair. It's first. I want number 1. Nicki has had a certain demeanor about the way she's gone about it, right? And I think it's a demeanor that actually is okay in the male rap world, but in the female rap world, it's not.
See, because I'm not gonna let you do it.
No, let me say, you disagree with it.
What do you mean by demeanor?
A demeanor to be like competitive.
He's good.
You can be competitive, but I think.
But how can you be competitive if you have no other competitors?
And do you think that the field viewed it as, oh, she's competitive?
No, and that's the thing. And I think before it was like Nicki's the best. She's called herself the queen. She's announced herself as this, and she was rapping at a really high level.
That was
playing a lot of maths. But then you drop someone else, and then now it's between you and them, and they're choosing them.
They stealing each other's hairdresser,
or just
the
not
stylist.
They're
doing shit.
But why is that part of
That's
the interview?
not true. People use
like,
my hairdresser, and my stylist, and my makeup artist when I was away. That I feel
why
like
is stealing hairstyling
no. See, here's the thing.
something
It's not. That's
a
what I'm saying.
topic in the interview?
It's not
which
always
I blame
part of the
media
interview.
for.
Listen to Queen Radio. No.
Wait, what do you blame media for?
No.
I blame media for these dumbass interviews that
Nope.
sit there and maybe sit with Remy sometimes
right.
and ask you over and over
Here's
these
why I
questions.
disagree.
Why,
Because
then why don't you talk about music?
Here's why I disagree. When we're talking about
They
Nicki,
make music.
Here's why I disagree.
Well, you in media, tell us why. There's a reason us media people don't talk to these niggas about
because
music.
it's boring, right? Because people
Like,
don't
let's keep
care.
it a buck.
No, people don't care that much about music
At all.
But the reason why they are here is because of music. So you better start giving a fuck. That's what I say. I don't want to hear about who is not speaking to who.
Here's
and
why I
what
disagree.
hairstyle.
Here's why I
and
disagree.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Here's why I
I swear to
disagree.
God on my grandfather's grave, I do
For
not.
real?
I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to hear them ask about Nicki when it comes to Remy. I don't want them, Stefan Don, to continue to talk about Nicki.
Then we
I
don't get
want-
Sheether if that
Here's why I
don't
disagree.
happen.
Here's why I
Right, but no,
disagree.
that shit can happen
That was
behind
totally
the scenes.
different.
I'm sorry, Jinx. Go ahead. Jinx, go ahead.
The
Sorry.
reason I disagree is that, okay, so that's how they're treated when you put them across the seat from a journalist or you put them on a hot chair in
Yes.
an interview. We gave her her own radio station. There's no other host. It's just her.
Well-
I've heard, listen,
They had DJ Booth in there. What's
a
his
couple
name?
times.
DJ?
Don't y'all diss
I'm talking
DJ
about,
Booth.
No, I'm not saying, but
she's at
was
the
in there.
steering wheel. She's at the reins. She is driving that vehicle for sometimes 3 hours at a time. And when you give it to just her, when her album drops, she talks about the music. Half the time, it's snide remarks, it's subliminal disses, or it's people she has beef with that isn't even in music that she has an issue with. She's controlling that. She's both the interviewer and the interviewee, and she takes it there.
And the
That's
one
fact.
time
But
I
I
listened
was
to Queen Radio to get the fucking tea, she don't even give it to me when Quavo put the song out saying he beat.
She didn't give you the tea.
Nah, I was
No,
looking
but
for the tea.
why does it have to exist for all
I think you can be
female
both a victim and a
rappers?
transgressor at the same time.
But because Nicki Minaj did that shit, it shouldn't represent everybody else, every other female rapper. That's what I'm saying. Like, because she did all of that doesn't mean that they have to be the result of it. Like, these interviews have to be that trash because of what Nicki Minaj pulled off, like, or pulled on her Queen Radio. So I don't want them to have the idea that we all do that catty shit, or we all want to talk about each other, or we all want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want us to really talk about the skill, like.
But they're never gonna talk about the skills when it comes to females. They don't even respect our pen. If you write a verse or you say a verse that's
Right.
too crazy, automatically they start questioning who actually wrote it, that it could not possibly come from you. And they always put you against each other. I'm pretty sure after this airs, they're gonna have blogs. They're not gonna say, hey, Rem defended her and said, yeah, BT was dead ass wrong. They'll be like, oh, did you hear what Rem said?
Facts.
This and this, and then she's gonna be the victim.
One
The
day
way
I
I-
want to come in here and just argue with Remy solely on the shit she says that is specific to female rappers. I don't think that's true what she says.
All I'm
You
going to
don't
say is,
think that's
I think some of
How
that
much
is
you
true.
want to bet? I'm gonna for every
Rem.
blog that I can find that says Remy says X, Y, Z bad about Nicki and makes her a victim.
Oh, no,
and
not
don't
that part.
mention that I fucking spoke
I was
up
talking
for
about the part
BT shit.
about women fighting.
We do fight a
fighting-
stronger,
fight-
a
yeah,
harder
yeah.
fight than y'all. We do.
I'm only talking about you saying that women have to fight for people to even believe that they wrote their shit.
We do.
But why?
I think that
But
was
why?
true.
Why?
But why?
Because there's been so many women.
it's a
There's a
man's
million of y'all that don't write y'all shit.
Okay.
There's a lot of rappers
But-
who are, there's a lot of male rappers
There's a-
who are
I'm
just
about
sitting
to
there with
say,
like
I was
mediocre
about to
shit,
say,
trading verses, you know what I mean?
Excuse
Like,
me.
Would you?
Contrary
I
to
don't wanna
popular
I don't
belief,
want to
there's a
call out
million and one
some of the
niggas
women
that don't
I
write their
love,
shit.
but this dates back to the '80s as far as female MCs not writing their rhymes. I can't really speak to all the male rappers in the '80s that was running around having their shit ghostwritten for them. I can't.
That's a whole other discussion, but I have ideas about it too.
Remy writes some rhymes. It's a few others that write some rhymes. That's not the rule. That's the exception. So for us to believe that, like, niggas got to stop getting killed for following history.
But we need
Like,
some
we not-
supporters like Scotty. I need people to believe just because I said that it's true. I
Right.
don't
I
want.
mean, I wanna- yeah, right.
It
No,
be to the
but-
point I be have to sit in the studio. I
But
make it
why
my
is it
business.
so
Don't
crazy
send
to
it to me.
believe
Let's sit in the
that?
studio.
That somebody like wrote their own shit.
has enough
Because from the history,
brain
the
power.
history,
because
but-
from the beginning of rap, 9 out of 10 females have
But it's
had their rhymes written
So
for
now
them.
that we
Right,
found
but
out
it's
now
It's
that
never
guys are not
changed.
writing,
Is that
that
math
guys
correct?
have ghostwriters. No, it's not. I'm sure.
Neither one of them can name me more than 4 females that write their own rhymes in the history of rap.
I can right now.
Let's-
Rico Nasty.
Oh, you about to
Dreezy.
give me all these new... Dreezy's all right, never mind.
Dreezy
never
on
mind,
what?
Never mind.
She's from Chicago.
Once you start saying
She's
Dreezy...
from Chicago, so
Dreezy
that's
don't
not
write
safe.
her own shit.
Dreezy is a fucking hybrid. I'm talking about rappers.
Jinx, what you were gonna say?
I was gonna say, every time I see Nicki, I think what you guys are saying is
Jinx, do
correct.
you write your own rhymes, my nigga? Oh. What'd you say?
I think what you guys are saying is correct, but we're talking specifically about Nicki. I think that female rappers typically are victimized in a lot of ways. But every time Nicki's a victim, she tends to make someone else a victim too.
But someone like 50 could sit on his page and talk crazy about any and everybody.
And he's
anytime,
hilarious.
And,
He's
and it's
funny.
funny. You understand what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Because being likable is not part of his formula. In fact, it makes him more likable. Whereas women, you better be
can't.
quiet, you better be obedient, you better look good. That's the math. I'm not saying it's right.
All right, fine. Listen, I'll take your word. Fuck it. All right, Steve Harvey and Monique seem to have a back and forth that